Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Game From Scratch, and today we are looking at yet another game engine, and this one is called Rootex. It is completely open source and free to use, and I don't think I recommend it, but it is definitely one of those things that is an interesting learning project. This basically is an in-house designed engine for someone's own project that they have shared with the world, and you can see the editor running in action. Now the editor you see here is actually written in the game engine itself. It's kind of like Godot, where the editing tools are actually just a Godot application. In this case, the editor here is just a Rootex application, and this guy is an entirely ECS-based game engine. What you're seeing here is the traditional Sponza-based levels and the editor in action. I don't actually know a whole lot about this editor. Like, I can't figure out how to get WASD keys navigate around the world or anything like that going on here, but otherwise, yeah, it's on Windows only. It is open source, MIT license. We'll get back to some of those details in a moment. Everything is entity-based, so if I go ahead and I grab this model, for example, I can right-click it, edit components, and we can add a number of different components. You can create your own components in C++, and you can attach scripts to things. Anything here, you'll see all of the entities have a script attached, and you basically load the script in. The scripts are all done in Lua. It is an object-oriented Lua, where the class is basically built on top of it. And yeah, that's kind of about it. Now, there's a couple things going on here. We can go ahead and load a couple things up. Let's open up a different scene. So we've got, for example, effects here we talked about just the other day. We have integration of effects here, special effects. You can see them running right there. And you can see the various different details here. Again, you can attach, so we get this guy. We've got a number of entities in the scene here, so we could go ahead and add a component onto things in the scene. So this is the grid, for example. I could add a fog component to it, like so, and you'll see you now have another component in here. So we can add near and far and the fog color here and so on. Now it's fogging up my grid, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but yeah, that's kind of how things work in that regard. There is documentation available, which is actually a little bit shocking. These projects generally aren't documented, so that part is kind of nice. And we got a couple of other examples here as well. So for example, we could come in here and see, here is a simple scripting. Let's open that up without saving. So you see here, this guy has a script attached to it right there. So a new script, test Lua is the script here. And we can press this guy and go ahead and see that Lua script in action. Lua scripts are always pretty straightforward and easy to understand. But again, I don't have a single actual reason for you to use this engine. But if you're working on making your own engine and you want some source code to jump into, or you want to derive a value from someone else's work, this could be a good starting point. So that is the Rootex editor in action. Let's go take a look at some of the details. Now, what you'll notice here, the project itself, again, it's entirely C++. This unfortunately is Windows only, and it is going to stay that way. If you want to jump in and figure out where things are, you can start with either editor or game project. Those are basically the two key things. The majority of things are in game. This is the heart of everything here. And our editor is a type of application. Again, the editor is built using Rootex as an example. One thing that you're going to want to check out, though, is if you are running this guy, you get all kinds of crashes because of this guy right here, preload. I have no idea what the actual, I just brute forced it. So it just added that little line of code into that file in the preload function, and you are good to go. Otherwise, you get all kinds of errors. So again, this is the kind of stuff you have to really understand before you could use an engine like this. If you can't fix a C++ crash on your own, even if you just brute force ugly hack it, you probably don't want to work with an engine like this because it is someone else's private project, a work in progress, and it's just being shared with you. So let's head on over and take a look at some of the details. As I mentioned earlier on, Rootex is open source. It is hosted on GitHub. I will, of course, link this in the linked article down below. It is an advanced C++ 3D game engine powering an in-production game yet to be announced. The game will finally ship on Windows using DirectX 11. Game will be a product of joint effort of SDS Labs and Design Studios. By the way, don't click that. It's a dead link. Features include, based on popular entity component system architecture, allows performance due to better CPU cache utilization. Full editor GUI implemented in IM GUI, similar to Unreal Engine's editor for added familiarity and ease of use. Don't know that I would agree with that, but okay. Direct 3D X11 renderer, dynamic Pong model lighting, CPU particle effects, high resolution textures, and other popular rendering effects. Physics engine by Bullet 3D. Audio engine supporting 3D sound attenuation and stereo sound. Lua scripting engine with functionality exposed for easy game curation in engine. And applies the event-based programming paradigm for better maintainability of game code. So why is Rootex? Why is Rootex what? I think what they mean to say is, why does it exist? And it is a direct successor of Rubius, our 2D game engine. Rubius engine is now being preserved, and any new features will be planned for Rootex and be implemented in Rootex instead of Rubius. Game developed will be announced soon. How do you use it? And it's really straightforward, actually. This is something I got to give them credit for. Building it out of the box was super easy. Install the Visual Studio development tools. Make sure you have C++ configured. Add in the OpenAL library. It's a single DLL that you got to download and register. Make sure you have CMake installed. Clone this repository. Run the generate cache, and then /19 for Visual Studio 2019 or -17 for Visual Studio 2017, and then do build.bat. You will also find, if you go into the directory, there is a solution file, which is what I have opened up here, and you can go ahead, run, and build things right there. Now, once again, if you do this, make sure you go into resource_loader.cpp and add in this quick hack, or you're going to get all kinds of crashes. Just something to be aware of. And yeah, so head on back over here. There's also some documentation available, which is nice. You've got a documentation of Lua scripting. The scripting API is all printed out here as well in the editor itself. You go back here in the editor. Oh, you guys got to run it again. So while you are in the editor right here, you can pull up documentation there. All these RST files. So if you want documentation on, say, the audio player or the audio source, click it there, you get your details over here, and yeah, kind of the way it works. Just go ahead, if you want to check things out, go File and Open. You're going to find there are a number of scenes already defined for you. The one we were looking at earlier on is model.scene. Go ahead and load it. Now, what you're going to notice this time over last time is there is a new file here, so let's go ahead and show you. So there's going to be, oh no, it saved my settings. Okay, come here. It's right here. So you've got the option, so let's go UI component. You've got this entire overlay system. So go here, let's put that back in. They have a component system or their own scripting language, RML, that can be used for doing markup language on top for UI components and such as this button right here and this little animated fellow over here. Now, if you go ahead and take a look in some of these classes, let's go here in Visual Studio Code. So here, for example, is that demo RML file. So I created a second version without all that stuff in here. You can see the RML. It's straightforward. It's basically a mashup of JavaScript and HTML. So here you can see they put the button with the on button toggle stuff. So you've got a UI layer there as well. Another thing you're going to notice is every single thing in this engine. So go up here. Let's go take a look at one of the scenes. So scenes directory right here. That is model.scene.json. You're going to notice all the saved files, everything in this thing is JSON format here for configurations. So all of the things that go and make up this scene, all of the entities in the scene, all of the stuff that you're seeing right here are right here. So if you want, you can edit it in straight JSON as well. You could create your own tools pretty easily to work with this. And then we have, for example, a number of materials in the scene. Let's go take a look at material. So you're going to see pretty straightforward, basically JSON files as well. So it's an entirely data-driven engine. It uses entities component systems. If we go back over to the the GitHub page for it, you will find that the source code is about 80% C++. The rest is shaders, a little bit of C, a little bit of Lua, and 1.2% of GitHub had no idea what the heck that was. So this engine is MIT licensed. Literally, it's someone's in-house single-platform game engine. I don't know where I discovered it. If you referred it on to me, thank you. I just kind of put it on a list, decided to check it out one day, and went, hey, this actually builds, compiles, works, and isn't bad. So if you're looking for something, basically some more source code to jump into to see how someone else implemented an engine, Rootex is an option out there. Now, if you're looking to create your next game, don't use this. Use Godot or Unreal Engine or CryEngine or Unity or Lumberyard or GDevelop or just kind of default, you name it. Use pretty much any other game engine I talked about on this channel, because this isn't really for production level game use. I can think of zero reasons why you should use this over any of those other engines. It is, however, a working polished, clean code game engine that you could jump into, take some knowledge from, figure out how things work, or you could jump in and join this project. They seem to have a decent number of contributors. I don't know if they're actually looking for more contributors or not. Again, this is for their own kind of in-house game project, but they shared it with the world, and I'm sharing it with you. So let me know what you think of Rootex, and that's it. Talk to you all later. Goodbye.